Merab Dvalishvili is one of the unstoppable forces inside the UFC at the current moment. However, every fighter has their flaws, and Merab's were already once exploited early in his career. So who are the fighters that managed to stop his relentless non-stop cardio and pressure? Contrary to how absolutely monstrous he is these days, Merab Dvalishvili had such a horrible start to his MMA career that anyone else in his place would have quit. In his debut at Ring of Combat 47 in 2014, Dvalishvili gave it his all against Darren Mima, but came up short, losing a tough majority decision. Dvalishvili found a brief moment of relief with a win against Dennis Dombrow, but his skills weren't yet sharp enough to handle tougher opponents, and that proved to be the case again when he fought Ricky Bandejas. The clash between the two rising stars was a back-and-forth battle, but Bandejas showcased superior grappling, even taking Dvalishvili's back and threatening with a choke. Bandejas ultimately secured a unanimous decision victory to seal his biggest career win. Merab rebounded with 5 straight wins, but he was still flying under the radar, until a spinning back fist knockout of the then undefeated Raufeon Stots at Ring of Combat 59. The highlight reel finish against a fighter who is now one of the best bantamweights in the world fast-tracked Merab's path to the UFC.
When I go backstage and I make a decision and tell somebody that they're getting the UFC contract, they get excited, the family gets excited, and everybody goes crazy. This would be probably the most unique celebration ever.
There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more fighter career coverage. Plus, if you want to support the channel, consider joining the Late Night Fights membership program for just $2.99. 6 months after his stunning knockout of Raufeon Stots, Dvalishvili signed with the UFC and made his debut against Frankie Saenz. From the opening bell, Dvalishvili made it his mission to suffocate Saenz's offense in close, but Saenz used all his experience to outstrike the newcomer and beat him by the thinnest of margins. Dvalishvili later revealed that he wasn't feeling well heading into the fight.
I have my UFC debut 2017. I'm fighting 37-year-old Frankie Saenz. And then like maybe a week before I got some virus and I was very bad, like coughing and like cold and hot, but I still cut weight. I don't cancel fight.
Dvalishvili next fought another stern test in the form of Ricky Simón.
How do you see this fight playing out on April 21st?
I see me landing some strikes early and then him getting desperate and trying to just shoot that double leg, and then I think I'm be able to out grapple him, and you know I have to say I'm going to go for that finish again. I mean, I feel like I hit hard on the feet, and I feel like with my ground and pound, there's no way I'm not going to be able to TKO this guy.
Inside the cage, Ricky put on a strong performance, but Dvalishvili seemed on track to edge out the decision, until the wild final moments when Ricky locked in a guillotine choke and drove Dvalishvili's head into the mat as they hit the ground. He held the choke until the final horn, and by the time it sounded, Dvalishvili had gone unconscious. Kicking off your UFC career with 2 losses is never a good start, and Merab knew that he needed to start winning if he was to survive in the promotion. Over the next 3 years, Dvalishvili went on a rampage, winning 6 fights in a row. It wasn't until September 2021, when he scored his first UFC TKO win against Marlon Moraes, that Dvalishvili really turned heads. But even then, a big obstacle stood in the way of his title aspirations. It was his own best buddy. Merab's teammate and close friend, Aljamain Sterling, won the bantamweight title by disqualification at UFC 259, and as a loyal friend, Merab chose not to fight him, even though he was a top contender in the same division.
Me and Aljo, we're never going to fight each other.
Dana White was obviously not happy.
We had a lot of these guys saying, oh, he's my friend, he's my friend. You can still be friends and want what your friend has, you know what I mean? It would be a really bad idea for Merab to go down that path.
Merab's determination pushed him to face tougher opponents time and again. After dominating Marlon Moraes, he earned a big fight against former featherweight champion Jose Aldo, who the Georgian beat fairly comfortably. Dvalishvili then beat Petr Yan too. With Merab still not willing to take on Sterling, the UFC gave Henry Cejudo who was making his return after a 4-year layoff, a shot at gold.
I understand business, everything, but Aljamain Sterling is my friend and my brother. Aljo has a fight now. He's fighting Henry Cejudo. I'm gonna be back to the gym in about a week, and I'm gonna help him to preparation with Henry Cejudo. And
Sterling defeated Henry Cejudo and then faced his final challenger before his move to featherweight, Sean O'Malley, who knocked Aljo out cold in the second round to win the belt. The shift in the bantamweight division hinted at a potential title shot for Merab, but by then he had fallen out of favor with the UFC, and as a result, Marlon Vera jumped ahead in the rankings to face O'Malley instead of Merab. Refusing to remain on the sidelines, the Georgian took on Henry Cejudo in what was seen as a potential title eliminator. On fight night, Merab made a statement, winning comfortably by decision, with the highlight of their fight being the moment when the Georgian picked up Cejudo on his shoulders and slammed him down like a ragdoll.
Picking up Henry Cejudo, getting him on his shoulder, walking him across the octagon, dumping him on the canvas, having a conversation whilst trying to choke out Henry Cejudo, chatting away to Mark Zuckerberg. Phenomenal. And his star has never been bigger.
8 months later, Merab finally got his shot at the bantamweight title at UFC 306. Merab's first title defense came against an even tougher opponent in Umar Nurmagomedov, and heading into the fight, there was a ton of bad blood between them.
that's another bullshit from him. Of course he's not Georgian. He can't even represent Dagestan. He represents Russia. Umar, good luck Saturday night. We gotta find out. Umar, I have a question for you. Where are you from?
From Russia and Dagestan.
Ha 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 ha! You will be humbled.
I'm always humble.
The fight was a war between the two bantamweights, with Umar controlling the first 2 rounds, but Merab making a monstrous comeback to outwork the challenger in the final 3 rounds to win by decision. Umar later revealed that his hand was broken.
Umar said he broke his hand. Did that bother you, the fact that he said that in front of the public? Like, did you feel it took away from your win at all?
I break my back during the training camp, and it was some days I cannot get up from the bed, and I was laid down, and I don't have a training camp, and I don't have a Khabib Nurmagomedov to help me to training, and then some days PI was closed. It was Christmas, and it was New Year's and weekends, and every time, not every time, but it happened a couple of times, Umar was there, and the security, I'm sorry, we cannot let you go in, and I'm not making this excuse. You're a fighter, and you gotta find a way to win, or whatever. It may happen, maybe, I don't know, but like, after he disrespect me, he says so many bullshit things, I don't know. I mean, as a fighter, I respect him, but I mean, I don't know, God bless him, I wish him all the best.
Merab is certainly riding high, and it will take a special effort to derail him. As far as Umar is concerned, he will have to work harder to get a second chance to bring the belt home. Another fighter who hopes to bring the belt home soon is Arman Tsarukyan. To find out all the times it didn't go his way, check out my full breakdown of all his career losses.